Over the past couple of weeks, I have been a little upset at myself because I put myself in a situation that I didn't think I was ever going to put myself in. And then I was getting upset that I put myself in this situation. And I was thinking, I was like, well, why focus on what I did? Why not start to focus on solutions? Why not start to focus on things that I can do to improve? So it could be like, why am I so lazy and fat? It's like, because all I'm doing is sitting on the couch and I'm eating Doritos. It's like, okay, well, what would I do to solve that? And I'd be like, well, stop sitting on the couch and I go to the gym. So it's like, okay, like that's easy enough. So I'm starting to do that as well too, like with my monetary means. So it's like, okay, like, so it's like I'm broke. I don't have any income coming in. It's like, well, what if I changed that, like was different from when I was having income come in versus when I don't have income come in? I was like, well, I was working when I had income come in, but it's like, well, I don't want to work necessarily, but I did like talking to people. So I was like, okay, well, if I like talking to people and that got me money, then like, why not just talk to people as well too and then make money that way? And it's like, okay, well, like, let's try that. Like, let's come up with solutions because we are always so focused on problems. At least these were things that I was focused on. And I was just like, well, why focus on problems when like we can focus on solutions? Because like if we think about it, it is really easy to come up with like solutions. Like I wrote this down. It's like, so I was having these arguments with myself on the walk and I was like, dude, like we need to stop focusing on like the problems that we have of like how we don't have a girlfriend or how we don't have an income or like ways that we don't have it. Like it's just like, what is wrong? And the reason why I had these thoughts in the first place was because my battery had died and I was like, well, screw this. Like I don't like this. Like I can't go anywhere. So like I was stuck in the house for about a week and then I found out that it was just my car battery. I thought it was something else, which was a good thing that it was just my car battery. The reason why you see the Dan and Dan photo on screen as well too, because if you watch this episode, they had to come up with a solution on how to move through the water. That's why I came up with this idea, was because I was like, I need to figure out how like I can make an income, how I can keep living the lifestyle that I have so that I can keep making videos for you and inspiring you to live your life in a more meaningful way. And it's by focusing on solutions. So like I had problems beforehand where I was like, no income, low views, lots of bills, no wife, dead car, no food. So I came up with solutions. I was like, well, I can do consulting, I can do coaching, I can do mentorship, I can do digital marketing, I can do video editing, I can do YouTube management, I can do sales coaching, I can do AI marketing, I can do public speaking. Like I created all these different solutions that I had because it just became easier for me to think about solutions instead of like thinking about like problems. So it's like, how could I find a solution and how could I connect with people? And it's like, well, I can make calls, I can make more videos, I could send emails, I could send texts, I can knock on doors, I can make videos. Like I can do all these different things to come up with solutions. This is all about having solutions. So it's like, when I was a kid, I always wanted to have a PlayStation 3. I guess it was more of like a Wii at the time or like a GameCube. And I was like, my parents were like, yeah, we won't buy that for you. But like, if you want to go buy it for yourself, then by all means. And it was actually a PlayStation 3 because it was on Black Friday back when I was a kid, back when that ended up happening. There was like a big deal on Black Friday. And I ended up mowing lawns. I ended up shoveling snow because I was like, what is the solution for me to be able to have the monetary means to be able to afford this said item that I wanted at the time? So I went out and I knocked doors and I asked them questions like, hey, can I mow your lawn? And then I'll like accumulate the money over time. And then like I'll deliver newspapers as well too. Like I even tried like selling like lemonade, and I would just create these things because it was the solution that I knew that I could do. So then when the Black Friday did come, I was like, hey, Dad, like, do you see like that, like there's this PlayStation 3 that I want, like I like to go, but I need to get to the store like super early because this was back in the time when like Black Friday was a little bit different and like you had to show up like super early, otherwise like things would all get lost. So that's what I ended up doing, was I ended up showing up. Like he's like, yeah, I don't think we'll go. And I was like, okay, well that's kind of a bummer. But then he did end up waking up at like 3:30 because he saw the work ethic that I put in, and I had the monetary means, and I wanted the PlayStation. So he ended up taking me to the store. He's like, all right, you can go inside all by yourself. And I was like, all right. So I went into like the Walmart all by myself. And I was trying to find like the PlayStation in the way that I wanted to find the PlayStation, and like I couldn't find. Like it took forever for me to find it. I finally got it. I think it was like the last one that they had, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. Like I got here just in time because I found a solution to how I could acquire the PlayStation that I wanted. And it was by me, like, say, going to work, like I said, knocking on doors and like asking people if I could mow the lawn or if I could shovel their driveway or whatever it was at the time. And they'd be like, yeah, and then they'd give me payment for that said thing. So I do that with these videos as well too, where I'm just like, hey, can you subscribe to the channel? Because you subscribe to the channel will help these videos reach more people, so that then more people can hear these words of wisdom, then they can improve their life as well too. Because that's what it's all about. It's all about sharing. It's all about creating. It's all about helping others solve their problems. So like if you're broke or you're lazy or you're fat, like what are solutions to those said problems? And you can be like, well, it's too hard for me to go to the gym. I'm going to be judged. It's like, okay, like if you're being judged at the gym, where do you think that judgment's coming from? Like, is somebody actually physically coming up to you and being like, hey, you're fat? It's like, no, nobody's ever going to just come up to you and tell you those things. Like, this just not going to happen. People in my experience, and this is just my experience, and I can only ever go off of my experience, people would always tell me, it's like, dude, you're looking so big. Like, how'd you get to the size that you're at right now? Like, you look fantastic. It's like, well, thank you. Like, these are the things that I did. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, like, you think that people are judging you. You can be like, well, everybody's looking at me funny, and like everybody's going to be like giving me side eyes because all I'm ever doing is cardio or stairs, or I don't know what I'm doing when I'm lifting the weight. And that's where I'd be like, well, are they actually looking at you, or do you just think that they're looking at you? Like, what if they just looked over at you? Like, most people are so self-centered in their own mind. Like, if you think about it this way, you could have every single thought that you ever wanted to have within your own mind, okay? And whatever that thought is can be the thought that you believe to be true because you just believe it so highly that somebody's looking at you. But if that's true, then wouldn't that mean that that other person is thinking that exact same thought within their own mind? Like, they're in their own head thinking about how everybody else is judging them. And it's just like, okay, well, if that's the case, then that would mean that nobody's actually judging me and everybody's just judging themselves. It's like, bingo. That's it. Everybody's only ever judging themselves because they don't believe that they fit in. But like, you do believe and you do fit in, regardless of where you're at, regardless of what you want to do, regardless of the things that you have done in your past. Your past does not define you. And this is why coming up with solutions to your problems will make your life so much easier. So like, one of my other solutions was, I was like, okay, well, like, this YouTube channel, it's not paying my bills right now. So I was like, well, what other solutions do I have? And I was like, well, I'm still going to keep making videos because I love talking with you guys. I love letting you hear these ideas. I love reading your comments. I love seeing these different perspectives that we all have together within this world. So I share these ideas with you to hopefully inspire you. So like, that was one of the solutions that I came up with. The other solution, I was like, well, okay, like, let me call up like other businesses, other realtors, other people, and ask them like, hey, what is your guys' biggest problem right now? And then I recorded myself making that video and I posted on a different channel. And then like, that video is doing fairly well right now. And I'm like, wow, that's incredible. Like, that's amazing because I came up with a solution instead of focusing on the problem. And it's all about acting on the solution. So it's like, I'll go back to the, like, you're lazy, you're fat, you're stuck, like, you don't know how to come up with these things. Use your infinitely creative being self that you are to come up with the solution, whatever that solution may be. You might have to do some work. You may not have to do some work. You can do inspired action. Like, I was inspired to make these videos today. I was inspired to record this video to share it with you so that you could hopefully be inspired to look at solutions instead of focusing on problems. Because whatever we focus on is the thing that we end up getting more of. So if you're focused on how can I make my videos better? How can I have better conversations? How can I become healthier? How can I become wealthier? You are going to be presented with solutions to those said problems. Then you act on that said solution. You act on that said verbiage that you're wanting to have achieved in your life. You act on going to the gym. And like I talked about in a couple videos ago, you break down those tasks into individual components that will help you grow in the ways that you want to grow in. You can start by walking, you can start by lifting, you can start by talking, you can start by reading a book, you can start by journaling, you can start by meditating. And you can be like, well, I don't know what those things mean. So I can walk through each and every single one of them on how to find that solution. I did it with the gym, so I'm not going to go into the gym right now, but for like journaling, what you want to do, you grab a sheet of paper or you open up a Google Docs and you just write. Like, that's it. You don't have to write about anything in specific. Just write down whatever's on top of your mind. You can even close your eyes and like just write with your fingers and whatever words that come out. You don't even have to make it comprehensive. You don't even have to make it like, you don't have to make it anything specific because nobody else is ever going to see it. It's only ever going to be seen by you. So you can just write it. If you want to delete it afterwards, you can delete it afterwards. I never did because I like being able to just like look back and be like, oh, this is where I was 4 years ago. Awesome. And this is where I am today. If you don't want to do it on like your computer, grab a sheet of paper, grab a pen, put your phone outside of reach, put your computer outside of reach, put any distractions that would distract you from just writing for at least 15 to 20 minutes outside of your reach. And if you need to, you can even like set a timer up as well too. And then like just write. And just write for 15, 20 minutes. Ask yourself questions of like, what solutions can I have within my life right now that will help me monetarily, successfully, relationshiply, content, creatively? Like, what solutions do I have? And the more you do that, the better you're going to get at creating and coming up with solutions. Because once you start, it's a lot easier. So it's like, here's a couple of solutions that I wrote down the other day. So it's like, you don't have a video, I help you. You don't have a website, I help you. You don't have good online presence, I help you. You don't have a clear way to gain leads, I help you. A lead is basically a way to contact somebody. You don't have somebody managing your emails, I help you. You don't have a success coach, I help you. You don't have an understanding of social, I help you. You want to sell more properties. I help you. You want to sell more. I help you. You don't have good stories. I help you tell better stories. You don't have a good follow-up system. I help you. You don't have a YouTube channel. I help you. You don't have a video to market yourself. I help you write scripts and film the videos to gain new leads and awareness. Like, these are solutions. So it's just like there's solutions for every problem. You are fat, you go to the gym. You are broke, sell a service. You are hungry, eat. You are dirty, shower. You are lonely, date. You have no social presence, make videos. You suck at sales, make sales calls. You don't know something, read a book, listen to a podcast, watch a video. You don't ask a question as well too. You don't have what you want, help others get what they want. So that's what I'm trying to do. Like, I'm trying to give you solutions to help you go out into the world, to come up with different ideas and think outside of the box, because whatever way that you want to think, you can have. But if you're too focused on like how I don't have enough, how like I'm broke or whatever it is, like if you keep thinking about those things, that's all you're ever going to have. But if you start to be like, okay, well, what does the wealthy version of me do? Don't think about like the wealthy version of somebody else, but like, what does the dream version of yourself do? How do they behave? How do they act? How do they talk? How do they go about their world? And you can be like, well, people are going to think I'm weird. People are going to think I'm strange. Let them. Like, you are at least being able to express your authenticity. And your authenticity is a solution to every problem that you could ever imagine possible. If you know how to be authentic, and authenticity can take some time, but like, test it, try it, go out into the street, go onto the public, like just go ask different questions of different people and see what you can come up with. Because I have a feeling that you'll be surprised at the things that start to happen to you when you start to show your true authentic self, when you start to look at solutions instead of focusing on problems. With that being said, I want to wrap up the video. As you may or may not know, I do make these videos every single day, so you can subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video like this. Comment down below what one of your problems is, and I will provide you with a solution that you can act on today to that said problem. And with that being said, I appreciate you sticking through to the end of the video. I do not take your attention lightly, so thank you. Thank you very much for making this possible, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.